Oh, I finally remembered what I was going to say earlier. So, Amy had sent me the thing about the med beds. Because yesterday I was talking about, well, I think I talk about it a lot. I just want there to hurry and be med beds. I don't want to keep going blind. I want to heal. And anyway, so that show Inspired. He is having some stuff lately too. It's funny because I think a lot of people are putting a lot more pieces together now. But same with what's that guy's name? He's a famous comedian. Yeah, because I keep seeing his stuff get shared. Brand. I can't think of his name. Anyways, but it seems like a lot of people are putting more pieces together. So, no, it was Shirka's show who had the thing about the med beds. And he talks a lot about TLS. I don't really know. I think it's just another 3-letter organization. But I don't know. Sometimes since I don't follow him all the time and I just see little things, sometimes I don't know what the hell he's talking about. So, like I couldn't tell when he's talking about TLS because they said about this information with the med beds, like it seems like they're on our side, but then they approach these people. Like, I don't really get all this stuff. There's so much espionage and bullshit going on behind our backs all the time. It's hard to know, like, what information they want to release, what information they stifle. Stuff, that's what everything is with these med beds, is all like how these decrepit motherfuckers keep themselves going. That and, cloning for parts and, also the harvest of the world. They're a bunch of Frankensteins, I swear to God. That's probably where they got the idea for the fucking show. I mean, the movie. Well, I think the book. Because, am I thinking of the vampire one? Or am I thinking of when Frankenstein was written? Keep trying to think of Mary Shelley, but I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But it seems that they were hanging out with aristocrats back at the time when they wrote this. And that probably because they already knew what these people did to stay alive. But so the doctor who Shirka is working with talks about this being technology that the elites have had access to for a while, apparently. But I could never find the show where he's interviewing her. All I can find is him talking about the show, but I haven't been able to find the show. But since Amy sent me the link, I was able to contact them directly. I haven't heard back, but I'm just going to see if I can just set up an appointment and see if, but I'm hoping that there is one in Vancouver. Vancouver, Washington would even be better than, it would probably be a little further away, but crossing the border, I don't know. I think you have to jump through a bunch of hoops to cross the border. Probably be easier to go to New York or New Jersey. So, I don't know. I got to see where they have these. But I'm going to try and get an appointment and see, what could be done or what I can do. God, I'd be so excited. But I think the med beds that are going to be coming out en masse are even going to be higher technology than these ones. Because those ones are going to be more of like military. Because if you watch stuff with Corey Good, and he was in the Secret Space Program, there's a bunch of other ones, but I didn't watch them as much as Corey Good because he was kind of more, there could have been some other whistleblowers, but he really was telling a lot of stuff. And so then you kind of heard it all when the other guys start telling it. But there's a bunch of them out there now. So any of them you find, but they always talk about this 20 and back because they go over and they make them serve 20 years, but then they reverse age them back with this technology and put them back into their lives, by flipping their age back. That's where I had heard about it before. And when I very first heard of it, just like everybody else. It's like, yeah, right. How can they do that? But then when you learn more about, like, this is, like, we're actually a conscious hologram. And there's so much more to this whole situation that we've been lied to for so much. So, I don't know how everything works, but it does something with vibration in our cells. And they have ones that can make your brain way smarter. That's why it's ridiculous, these people who think like they're going to get an implant in them so that they can access a computer with their mind, when really they're just sucking your energy, because they can take control. You've put an implant in you. Like, you don't want to be doing that stuff. This technology, if you go the direction of nature, because this is what I really see is going on, is this division between technology, the science, and the natural. But there is science that works with the natural. Like, it uses nature's own components to create free energy and stuff like that. The other is trying to harness, redefine, and then distribute as a controlled device. Like, they want control over it. They want control over resources, all that stuff. So they change things, just like taking water, taking sewage, and then adding chemicals, and then telling us to drink it. Like, it's disgusting, seriously. I mean, we sit here freaking out like they're going to start spraying human remains on the food. We've already been eating human remains. They've already been gelling it and putting it in food for a long fucking time. And all this stuff is just, it's very frustrating. So, so there's a natural technology that works with the universe, and that is what the higher dimension beings that, people want to think of as like, oh, the scary monsters, they're just waiting to get us. But, these are more sophisticated beings that are just waiting for us to, catch up. They're not going to go in and talk to a bunch of cavemen and try and explain to them how a computer works. Like, they have to have us catch up spiritually, with our minds, our consciousness expanding, not being limited, because we live in a limited world that is created to limit our minds. So that's the awakening, is the questioning, is the beginning to desire and want more. So you're asking the questions, you're feeling the connection. Then we will understand. Like, you can't oh, sorry. I just keep being super uncomfortable. Like, no matter what, I can't stay comfortable. So no matter what, the learner has to be ready for the teacher. Like, if we're not ready to understand what they're talking about, then they're not going to, try and teach us. So we have to come up. Our level has to go up. And then when we can meet, closer to their level, then we're ready to start learning. But that's how they travel through different realities and dimensions, is because they use the natural laws of the universe. And that's what we need to learn. But see how people have to, it is an ego-driven, competition with God, like, or to discount God altogether when you want to go into this tech world. And then when you think like somebody implanting their device in you, it's like a fucking tracking system. Like, and besides, they have goddamn told us in TED Talks or wherever the hell these people go up and talk, that about controlling us with these devices. So I just don't understand why anyone would go in that direction. But it is appealing to some people, the techie, high technology and stuff like that. Like, I've talked to people and they think it's super, super cool. And I'm the opposite. I think it's super, super cool. Like, there's magic when you can understand how to transverse. I don't know, that's the word that came to my head. When you can use energy like that, like when you can learn not to manipulate it, but to work with it. Because that's the problem, like with witchcraft and stuff, where people start getting in this, oh, so not only can we use this and be a part of it, but we can manipulate it. And that is where they get themselves into trouble, because you're not supposed to be manipulating anything. Everything is consciousness, and there should be no manipulation. You have to let things flow. You have to, it's like going into the current and working with the current rather than trying to swim upstream. Yeah, you can do it, but is it, the best direction to go? So but all of these people who are learning about that have to learn for it themselves. And I think a lot of the people who are really attached to that kind of concept, that they were practicing a long time ago and learned, not to manipulate energy like that, that you have to, direct with the flow of the energy. You can't, but there is people who do these like love spells and stuff. You cannot control somebody else's free will. They have to decide for things for themselves. Then it's up to you. Are you going to wait or whatever you're going to do? But you have to allow people to do it for themselves. You can't do like these love spells and stuff. Yeah, some of the stuff can work, but it's not what you want to do. You don't want to get involved in directing anyone else's free will. Everyone has the right to live and direct their lives the way they want. So you don't want to interfere with that. And then it depends on your own abilities and their own awareness. Like it gets more complex than just you. There's nothing that is just one definable concept. Everything is a spectrum. Everything is complex because we are all unique. Oh my gosh, hold on. She's having such an attitude. Hold on. Piled a bunch of books up. I was looking for my book. I had this book when I was a kid, and I've saved it forever. It was my favorite book, The Emperor's New Clothes. And it was really cool too because it was like this 3D, so you could look at the page, and it would look like it was moving. It was a super cool book, especially back in the 60s or early 70s, and but it's my favorite book. So I've been looking everywhere for it because I was going to do a TikTok. Everybody needs to read this book if you don't understand what's happening here. And I think it was my favorite book as a kid because I came into this world knowing there was conspiracy, knowing we had to be on guard, knowing they were trying to trick us all the time. So anyways, with the medbed stuff and the technology, so we want to go more towards nature, and these patents and stuff that are going to be released are, Tesla was all about universal, he understood about the universal energy that's out there and how to direct it or something. I think that a lot of the patents are going to be his. I don't know though for sure, but there's so much talk about him lately and how he was well, I don't know, I think it was kind of like me, only his purpose was different than my purpose, but he could hear him talking. I think he went into some sort of meditation. I always think I kind of like, if you watched me in the daytime, I think I go into like these little mini trances or something, and I can just stand there. And you just get quiet and you just listen, you just listen. And they'll tell you things and show you things all the time. But like once you get to, I don't know where I'm at, if it's being by myself or just being so used to them talking to me so much, that's who I talk to all the time. Like I just have regular conversations with them. But I do, ask questions. I do. complain, but you don't get to know every single thing. You're here to experience the stuff, not just be told what it is. So sometimes you just have to trust and understand. But anyways, so he was understanding about universal law. And I think his patents are going to be the ones that are opening up. That's going to move us into such a more highly technological existence that's going to make our lives easier. And we're going to be able to have things, resources for free that were always owed to us for free. They should have never been charged. Nobody gave them reign over the earth. They just, became the rulers because they're like self-appointed rulers over us. We didn't appoint them. Like wherever they decided how many ever centuries ago that these people were going to be the rulers of here. And once we get to this place of awakening, then it's like, no, you're not my ruler. I don't give you the power to rule me. But so many people have to get to that point. I mean, they're still talking about how to get the right people to rule us. We got to get the right ones. It's like, why? Why do you need somebody to rule you? How old are you? Are you adult? Do you know how, and in the vibration that we're going to be added to, it's not going to be able to be, all these low vibe people are not going to be able to exist there. They're not going to be able to go and ruin the high vibe place because they won't be able to exist there. That's why it's super important to release your stuff so that you can keep raising your vibration. I think that most of the people are going to raise their vibration and move. I think most people are going to be awakened, and it's going to redirect things. But people right now, I mean, there's already people who are getting them implanted into them. And I mean, they're planning on us all doing it. I mean, they're already putting in stores where you have to use it to shop. It's like, I will grow my own food. I will live like a fucking pioneer person before I'm going to join some fucking weird controlled cement city of prison. Like, no, thank you. And they get people to want to be in prison. Like, they market it. Everything's a campaign with them. Like, the campaign is such, like, what they do when they go out before one of those isn't even to the degree of what it really means. Like, that word, to me, it really means, like, we're going to go, we want to change the rules. We're going to go in and, kill kids or poison you or whatever. Like, they go to extremes when they're campaigning. They don't just go out and, talk at a podium and tell us what they believe. They lie about everything they believe. So anyways, I'm going to keep trying to get an appointment with this med bed this week. But I do think that the med beds that are going to be coming out are going to be even more sophisticated than this one, because I haven't heard anything about this one making you younger or making you smarter. Like, it fixes more things than just what you're sick with. Like, where Shirka was talking about his aunt, I think it was, went in and she had a great big 6-inch cyst fibroid thing. She went and sat in it for 4 hours. It's like $50 an hour. And she sat in it for 4 hours, came back and it came out and it was gone. So see, all of these people, like my brother could go in there and be healed. Whatever growth is in there. But they got to put you through all of their medical stuff. Oh, we got a test for you. Oh, we got some meds. Oh, you got an appointment. Oh, you got to go see this specialist. So it's all just this funneling money through their system while we run around thinking someone's going to make us better. And it doesn't. And when I was looking for the book, even when I was so sick and I was on all those pills and they were sending me to specialist after specialist, and I just knew everything inside of me was telling me it was the medicine. And, finally I listened and got off of the medicine. But it wasn't even me listening to myself. It was still that doctor coming in with the diagnosis of colitis. And then my daughter looking it up and seeing that the colitis was caused. There's 3 types. And one of the types is caused by medicine, by the pills. And I knew that was it. And that's why I went off of them all. And that's what they get everybody to just go through this system, running around, not getting better. So when I was so sick like that, my mom had sent me this, it seems like I got a few different books given to me, but this one, Fighting Sickness or something like that. And because I was seriously so sick, I couldn't even get up and walk across the room. I would lay on the couch and just, oh, it was horrible. It was really horrible. And then you get nowhere, going to all these appointments and all these specialists and all their co-pays and all their more medicine to try and all their bullshit. And so there's people writing books about it. Like they've gone through these years of running around doing these appointments and they get nowhere. You know, even after you go through a million tests, all they do is tell you, well, it's all in your head. You know, you just, it's in your head. And then you find out, no, it's because you are poisoning me and I am being killed slowly by you guys because you're all part of the same damn system. You know, some of these doctors, not all of them, because some of them are just as nitwitty as a lot of other people. You know, they just don't question anything. They just do what they're told. And so some of them don't know that they're killing people. But there's a lot who do. There's a lot who are suspicious. There's a lot who start putting it together that they see the same symptoms. And there's nobody who has that this symptom and this symptom and these same people have it. Like, what do they have in common? Like, they're studying all of us like that. So, you know, you would hope that we have some people on our side that are studying all of it. And, you know, maybe we'll see it at the tribunals, who knows, where they actually were saying, like, how many people were going to the hospital having these same symptoms and these same ones. That's why they come up with these sicknesses and tell us, oh, now they're saying that the hepatitis is coming from strawberries. And, you know, they recalled the peanut butter. Like, they killed all the chickens. Like, they're doing all of this stuff. And I had said before, people need to start going into their cities and just buying tons and tons of chickens. Just have free-range chickens just in the cities. What the fuck are they going to do? We just start planting vegetables on every piece of soil you find. What are they going to do? Like, there's got to be some way to combat the system. They can't keep up with us if we're all going the same direction. When we change the current, see, it's us. We have to change the current. We have to quit fighting, trying to get them to do what we want. And we got to just start going our own direction, because then everything changes. But you got to get people to let go of the system. Quit trying to hold on to it. And quit trying to rebuild it and restructure it and keep it together. Like, there's no place for this in our new world. This is the old world that will not exist in the new world. So, but people have to see that and you know, want something more for themselves and start thinking for themselves. I mean, it's all just part of this process. But the technology will be so far advanced when we start going. Like, we're not going to be sick. We're not going to be dying like that. We're going to be, it's going to change our travel. It's going to change how we consume energy. Like, there's a lot of changes coming in the natural world. Because when you sit there and say, like, oh, I'm going to go to the natural, people just think like, oh, you're just going to go live out in the woods and just be a hippie. The natural world, the natural science, the natural cosmic quantum energy that's there is going to change our lives. We don't need to stay being tricked by these people, you know, give up, just become a couch potato, you know, work smarter, not harder. Well, pretty soon you're not even going to be working. You're just going to spend all day, you know, jonesing on how you're going to get money so you can go in your virtual world, because that's the only place you feel good about yourself. So, you know, it's a trap. It's all a trap. And I think I was weirded out even when I started seeing all these gamers and stuff get so into their avatars and stuff. Like, you see this person who's about 300 pounds sitting on a couch, completely unhappy with how they look. And then they're making this avatar that is, you know, was desirable person. It's like you can make yourself into a desirable person if you put that same energy into you. Put that energy into you. Don't spend hours playing a game, creating a character so that you can disappear from your own life, you know? But anyways, I mean, we're still in this transitional phase, so lots going on. But I am, that is what I was trying to remember earlier, was about the medbed thing. So I really appreciate that link, because I really hadn't seen about that. And I had seen it like November, somebody talking about that they were going to be opening up appointments in January, that there was a lot of med bed usage already, and they were going to start having appointments, but I never see them. So I'm really excited. When I went in to try and watch Shirka's thing, couldn't find the show. I could only find him talking about the show. So anyways, I really appreciate it. I appreciate the link, and I'm going to continue trying to get a hold of him. But anybody who is, on the fence on this, which direction do you go? Do you follow what, is familiar, what's safe, what they have to offer? Because everything they have to offer is like, dressing up the devil in a dress and tricking you. It's not. Nothing is going to work out the way that they say. But everything that is not familiar, everything that is natural, and the creation, it's the quantum world that we're about to go into. That's the direction that we all need to be going, not, being a part of their enslavement system. Enough is enough of that shit. So anyways, I just wanted to talk about that. I still go all over the place, even when I just try and talk about one thing. But I am going to just keep trying to get this appointment. God, it would be so great if I could just go, if I could fly over there and go sit in there for a few hours and come out and be able to see again. Oh, and maybe even have my brain mended. And there's a few things I'd put on the list. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.